Playoffs. I hope some of you guys are finally done with the insanity that lives inside of some of you and also lives in the comments. Another painful 25-26 Devils season night. Another painful night and a very painful season. Our beloved New Jersey Devils down in D.C. taking on the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer, Alexander Ovechkin, and the Washington Capitals. And the Devils lose a real painful one, folks. 2-1. The old New Jersey Devils and their dried-up, non-existent offense have returned. Cheers to all of you. Win or lose, we booze. And tonight, loser beverages for all because the Devils just couldn't get anything going. But cheers to all of you. Still watching this team. Cheers to those of you, obviously, that are still participating here. But, wow, people are checking out by the truckloads. And, quite frankly, I can't blame them. I mean, this team is just kicked us in the nuts repeatedly throughout the course of the year. But cheers to all you guys. This one sucked. When you don't score goals, you do not win hockey games. And another... I will say this was an outstanding performance in net for Jake the Snake Allen. No goal support to be had. We'll get to all that. But you do not win games in this league without scoring goals. The Devils seem to have an offensive explosion over the past week and a half or so, but they're back to the old Devils, folks. 1-goal games, they were a minute and change away from being shut out. I mean, completely unacceptable. But we get to the game, and at 9:36 of the first period, Leonard rips one past Allen, giving the Caps the 1-0 lead. That is how the first period would end. Devils had some decent chances early on. Obviously, the overwhelming majority of their quality chances were in that third period. But second period, no goal scoring in the second. Devils going into the third period, down 1-0, looking to get a goal to tie it up. And with the extra attacker, Allen on the bench, Protas gives us the dagger. 2-0 Caps at that point. And then obviously in typical New Jersey Devils fashion, why would they not? Bratter with a snipe, an absolute snipe by Bratter with 43 seconds left at 19-17. Bratter's 17th of the season from Jack Hughes. Absolute snipe, but too little, too late. Once again, like the story of the season, the inept offense of the New Jersey Devils cost them another game. And again, I cannot sing the praises of Jake Allen enough. I mean, this guy was an absolute wall back there. Tons of breakdowns, a lot of sloppy play from the Devils. Nothing new, for this team on the season. But Jake came up huge, gave him a chance to win this game. They could not score a goal, and that's it. That's it. They foiled Thompson's shutout with 43 seconds left. Devils 32 shots on goal, Capitals 27. Face-off percentage slight edge to the Caps, 51.9%, to the Devils 48.1%. Devils couldn't get anything going on the power play, going 0 for 2. Caps go 0 for 1 on their power play. Devils 18 hits, Capitals 17 hits. Devils 15 block shots, Caps 9 block shots. Devils 17 giveaways, Caps 18 giveaways. And both the Devils and Capitals with 4 takeaways apiece. And we get to some player stats. I don't even care to do this. Dilly with 2 shots and 4 hits. Dougie a shot, a block, 2 hits. Kovacevic a shot, 2 blocks, 2 hits. Shimo Nemitz 2 shots, 4 blocks. Luke Hughes with 3 shots and a block and a hit. Jake Allen, 25 saves on 26 shots. There was nothing more that man could do. This team just cannot score goals, folks. I mean, it's just not a fun brand of hockey to watch when they cannot score goals. But here we are, right? I mean, Bratter with the goal, obviously, and Jack with the assist. And this was a graphic MSG showed, fighting for goal support, just to show how bad the offense has been in this calendar year. For Jake Allen, 2-7. I would have thought his goals against would have been a little bit better, honestly, but he's had some great games in there. 3.08 goals against and an 8.28 save percentage. Devils scoring 1 goal in 5 of his 7 losses. I mean, my God, talk about demoralizing as a goaltender. This poor guy can't catch a break. Devils conceded a first goal in all 7 losses. Absolutely painful stuff. I mean, it doesn't get much uglier, folks. It's bad. It's terrible, but let's see what you guys are talking about here. I'm expecting this to be the usual bloodbath. Ryder Respects is tired of listening to this guy speak. I'm assuming he's talking about Keefe. Tropical Flamingo, the guy is the king of, to use an analogy, sitting in a bumper at GW Bridge to pay tolls. Wait. Snow, they can't let these games that are essentially meaningless keep Fitz's job. I've told you guys before, I don't think Fitz's job security depends on how they finish this season whatsoever, because obviously they're not in the playoffs. And so is that enough for the ownership group to make a move? And I just don't think they're gonna. I mean, I obviously hope that they do. But as everyone has pointed out hundreds of times at this point, the time for a shakeup was after that 9-0 Islanders beatdown. That was completely insane. Riot and Respect, they all can't wait until they hit the golf course. Only profession where you can really suck at a job and still have one the next year. Pro sports, folks. Pro sports. Gregory, just not enough. Just not good enough again. Can't wait for the season to be over. Allen should probably be the starter. Oh, that was the other thing I meant to say about Jake Allen. Funny that you should say that, because nothing matters now, right? And we could afford to do these experiments. I personally would like to see Jake Allen get like 5 or 6 starts in a row the way Markey did. Assuming Jake Allen is up for it, obviously. I would ask Jake Allen, can you play these games? And assuming that his answer is yes, and I believe it would be, I ride Jake Allen like they did Markey. Let's do the experiment you did with Markey. The guy played 2 different sets of back-to-backs. He essentially played back-to-back, back-to-backs. Run that same experiment with Jake Allen. There's this huge, theory out there that, as he plays over X amount of games, his stats, I don't care about any of that shit. The season's over. Let's see. Allen looked great. Ride him. I'm a fair guy, and I like Jake Allen. Obviously, I'm a Markey guy, but, ride Jake Allen for a stretch and see what he could do when he gets that amount of starts. I mean, why not? Probably not going to happen, but I would start Allen the next game. Ryder Respects his team is cooked for years to come, sadly. Beyond immediate repair. The thing is, I don't think they're as bad as they look on some of the nights like tonight. I do think a couple bottom 6 correct pieces and a top 6 scoring winger could go a long way, especially if you're getting, some of that script we've been talking about forever. I do think, and again, Jack Hughes is going to be healthy to start the season, hopefully, and hopefully he stays healthy all season. That does matter, guys. I mean, Jack missed 20 some odd games, and then he came back and he was playing with the oven mitt and whatever else, and was not the same guy. He was playing with one hand. I mean, we essentially had we had a quarter of the season without Jack Hughes, and then another quarter of the season with a one-handed Jack Hughes, which, listen, I'll still take it. As I've told many of you guys back when you were complaining about him when he was playing with the one hand, I said, I will take Jack Hughes with one hand over most players in the league with both. So what are you going to do? But that is the reality of the season. Snow said, I don't want to hear excuses that they're a tough team. They're not even a playoff team. No, I'm tired of hearing lip service stuff too, but it's got to be tiring talking about the same shit over and over again. Tropical Flamingo, to get a goose egg tonight points-wise is frustrating. Not for any playoff hopes. There's 0 chance, but to get anything out of a game like this would have felt better. We have not had enough games past regulation. And Ryan respects it because they're not a good hockey team. Jay Snow, Washington's got some big boys. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Riot and Respect have to be competitive to make it to OT. Yeah, but the Devils have not accumulated a lot of loser points this year like some other teams have. It's unfortunate. Robbie's bench toss, rushing to extend Markey midseason was such a mistake. Yeah, I think everyone knows that. Trading Nemo over Dougie would be another. I really hope we don't allow Fitz to be the one making that call. Yeah, I think we're all hoping for a change at the position. I don't know if it's going to happen. I could see it going both ways, but I'm obviously leaning towards that he's going to be here next year. I mean, I just simply look at everything that's occurred, and I just think we're going to see it again next year. Ride and Respect, the team is simply a failure. They don't want to put out to pasture. It does feel like that, right? It's like, what are we doing here? Needs to be Old Yeller behind the shed. Jay Snow, if they got Nyes, I'd trade Nemo. Yeah, I mean, if something like that's on the table, I think you have to seriously consider it. Obviously, I'm thinking, a little slightly bigger fish, Snow. I'm hoping for that Brady Kachuk, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's been so much smoke around Nyes going back even to the trade deadline that it seems like there's something there that they may be open to parting with him. It just does seem like we're destined to not have Nemo next year, and it's unfortunate. I'm a Nemo guy too. I like Nemo. I think he's going to be very, very good. Ryan Respect, I would trade anyone but Jack. Also, I'm starting to think Timo sucks really bad. But like, why did I just don't understand why people like honing in on Timo. What about everybody else? What about everybody else? Faye, both teams played great tonight. Thompson just played better than we thought. He was a wall. That third period, we were getting chances. Yeah. Playoffs. They said we only lost because Thompson played on his head, but he had a great game. But let's be real. How many times are people, or have we said something similar about other goalies? Like, every goalie is not having a career outing against the Devils. It's, there has been some very good performances by goaltenders, but in the end, this offense is, we'll call them shutout friendly. Shutout or one goal against friendly, because way too many games this year were either shutouts or one goal scored for the Devils. Ryden respects that Devils hockey is really dead. Yeah, a lot of people check out. When a team is just not good, people have other stuff to do with their time. You got March Madness, you got whatever. It's what is this, Friday? Friday night. Watching a bad team is a commitment, guys. You're all sick individuals. You're almost as sick as me. I'm not even sure who's sicker, me for doing these streams or you guys for watching them. I'm not even sure. Misery loves company, folks. Cheers to all of you. I mean, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? We got another about 3 weeks. Another 3 weeks. I hope we get the high-powered offense Devils that we saw before tonight. I hope they reappear at some point. Red Ranger says, Fitz fired yet. He could take Keefe with him. I'm done with this whole shit for Brains organization. Doug, Fitz still believes in the core. Stick figs. Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, Nico Heischer, Jesper Bratt, Timo Meyer, Dougie Hamilton, Shimo Nemitz, Dawson Mercer, Arseny Gritsuk. Can only put one behind the net. This is true. Snow, one goal or fewer in 23 games. Yeah, I mean, that's insane. And there's still 13 games left, so even if there's a few more, I mean, when the season's all said and done, it's going to be an astonishing number of one goals or shutouts. Snow said it's time for Mercer and Dougie to go. I wouldn't be surprised if one or both of them are traded this summer. Philip says, I'm on the DC Metro coming back from the game. Devils didn't play with heart, and neither did the Caps. Wow, Philip. Do you live in New Jersey or New York? It's quite the committed. Yeah, that's the commitment there, taking the train down there, huh? If Bratter had a hell of a shot, that was a total snipe. Tropical Flamingo ultimately need to score. We all know this, and we don't do enough of it. Need offense, but I'll believe when I see someone coming in to help Jack. Everybody's wish. Get a big bruising scorer to play with Jack. I know a guy who would be perfect. I know just the guy. And I believe if you make the call and offer a nice package, it may be too juicy for his employer to resist. It may be way too juicy for his employer to resist. Ritter Engine Mercer's value just went to complete shit. He has zero value now. Absolutely not true. Dawson Mercer certainly has value to plenty of teams. I'm not remotely worried about that. And you guys know I like Mercer. But if there is a move to be made that involves him, that improves the team, then I'm all for it. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. Against the big teams, the Devils struggle. Size matters, folks. Size matters. And that's why many of us have wanted to add some big boys. Add some big boys to this lineup. You definitely need it. And come the playoffs, everyone's going to get their annual reminder. For those that forget, somehow these people get amnesia. They see the playoffs, they see the warfare hockey, and then they keep running back the same narratives about how physicality and size and all of these things don't come into play. And it's like, what sport are you watching? Do you watch the playoffs? Because both of those things certainly play a part. Now, I'm not saying you have to have every single guy needs to be this rough and rugged type of player, but you certainly need some. CNJ Dev, how did Luke Hughes get such a big contract? It's based on potential. That's all it boils down to. And this has been going on for a while now. Guys get paid a little early. And in Luke's case, it was $9 million for 7 years. And the hope for the organization, the New Jersey Devils, is that while you might be overpaying him the first couple of years, so call it this year and maybe even next year, that, in year 3, 4, and beyond, Luke is playing at a level where at that point in time with the rising cap, don't forget about the rising cap, that he would be essentially a 11 or $12 million, market value type player. And that's the hope. And I still think that could happen despite many of the haters and their thoughts. But I do think Luke is going to be that guy. And he's only 22 years old, folks. NHL defensemen do not develop overnight, and people just keep forgetting. And I understand, what about Schaefer? People want to make all these comparisons. Every person's different, and Schaefer is just a complete phenom freak outlier. You cannot compare guys to the extreme outlier. Ride and respect, this is my least favorite iteration of the Devils I've ever seen. I genuinely dislike the players on this team. I get it. I don't dislike them, but as a group, I'm pretty much over it. Snow said, I don't want to see this group together ever again. I think you're going to see mostly the same group next year. Benjamin says, imagine being the snake. Yeah, it's got to be brutal. Stood on his head, kept him in the game, and they couldn't do anything for him. They said, what excuses? They ran into a hot goalie, nothing more. Thompson stood on his head, and we couldn't get a thing past him. Yeah, but at some point, you got to stop. How many times have we said that this year? Ryan H. Oh, man, finally finished my Devils Garage Bar and won't be able to watch them in the spring. My neighbors are probably happy, though. They won't hear the horn much longer. Snow said, Fitz will sell them on a healthy Jack Hughes is a great team. Yeah, but, I totally understand the injuries and, how they played a part in the season. But in the end, for a team that has been riddled with injuries for the past few seasons, you have to have a roster that's better safeguarded for said injury. Any team, if you're building it up on the back of one dude and it's like if he gets injured for any sort of time, your whole team falls apart, then your team is not good. That is not a good team. Night Porter Markstrom needs to go. Pine Barrens Cave would be nice. Are you making Niles for Nemitz? He's about Nice. Fitz is coming back next year. Why does Timo not get called for lack of production? People talk about it here every day. The whole team has lack of production. So why are we singling out Timo? Because it's like the popular thing to do. Robbie, we stand Jake the Snake. Jay Snow, I get Thompson played well, but this team has been awful at scoring goals, so it's nothing new. And that's the point. It's like, yes, two things can be true at once. Thompson played a great game, and this team also sucks offensively. Both of those things are true. CNJ Dev, the team is not worth getting upset over. The players don't seem to be upset when they lose. Well, I've been kind of numb now for a while. Like I said, I get beating the Rangers and stuff, and that amazing Bruins finish. Like I'm still gonna get excited for the wins, but when they lose, it has no bearing on they're not making the playoffs, and so I just can't be outraged or genuinely mad because I'm just numb to all of it now, and we're just kind of coasting to the end here, waiting for October again. Metalander reading more and more about how disappointed the Sens are with Brady's performance since Gold. I will drive up and get him. The guy's a point per game player. I mean, who's disappointed? I'm sure. I can't even see that being true. I think he's right around a point a game. Last night started the game at puck drop with a spirited bout against Anders Lee, and then scored the game-winning goal with like 10 or 15 seconds left in the third period. Unbelievable stuff. Yeah, Brady's got 19 goals and 28 assists for 47 points in 48 games played. He's a hair under a point per game player. I mean, what do they want from him with everything else that he does? I'll drive up. I'll drive up with you to go pick him up. Tropical Flamingo, October can't come fast enough. The season has been so painful. I fear we bring a lot of the same with Booze Face, but this year has been one of the hardest to date to watch. Yeah, the huge difference between expectations and actual performance. And I think that is what, ultimately makes it that painful, is that a lot of us really believed in this team, as did the masses, I would say. And to start the season as a top 4 or 5 favorite to win the cup and then not make the playoffs it's painful. CNJ Dev says this core might never make the playoffs again, never mind win the cup. It could be true. And again, we don't know how long this core is going to stay intact, but if I had to bet on it, I would bet that they're all back next year. Jason, no, they need to be more than one-dimensional. They're still just a rush-based offense, and that will come with some personnel changes. We need the dogs Get the dogs. Get the dogs and bring in some new wrinkles. Get those guys that are going to go smashing in the corners and just running over goalies. Brady Tkachuk. CNJ Dev said, are they actually trying to tank? I can't tell. No, players don't want to tank. Absolutely not. John Fay said, someone said earlier that podcasters or something were talking about a Nemo trade for Nyes. I think people were talking about that on deadline day as well when the Nyes things were floating around. I mean, listen, when you're on social media, people are going to be speculating all kinds of stuff. And so you'll see all types of things. But I think people are talking about a Nemo and Nyes kind of centered a deal on deadline day. DM Sang says trade all of them. Carson says, Nyes looked invisible against us tonight. Hell, I can't even remember if he was on the ice. Wow. Crazy Alex, the guy I was talking to, thinks that Nico and Timo will leave or be traded. Well, Nico still has one more year on his deal. I'm very curious to know what his thoughts are. We've talked about this time and time again, but we shall see this summer. That's a major looming situation. We got a big situation with Nico. Snow, you can make the argument for Bratt and Timo. Yo, Holmes says, Keefe's teams can't score. Last 2 seasons, we stink offensively. Stephen C., everyone knows damn well Keefe is going to start Markey the next 10 consecutive games. I don't think so. But I would like to see, let Allen get a little run. See what he does with, a heavier workload for a little bit. Doug says, well, when the same people come in here and say the same shit night after night, it just gets so repetitive. It's literally purgatory. Yeah. I mean, same kind of story, different night. Robbie's bench toss. Would you do a first and 2026 Nemitz and a core piece for Brady? Yes, I would. I would try my hardest to leave the core intact. And obviously, I think 2 of the first bullets you fire out in a potential trade for Brady Tkachuk is obviously that first round pick this year, which will be a 10 or somewhere in that 10 to 12 range, 9 to 12. Somewhere in there. Decent pick, not super high, but you're still, a little bit above the top half. That first rounder, Nemo, and I love Nemo, just so you guys know. I don't want to trade him, but if we're talking about Brady Tkachuk, you got to do what you got to do. Like a first Nemo and maybe a guy like Mercer, like could that get it done? I have no idea. We could be way off with the speculations. You never know, but I feel like that's a pretty good conversation starter at a minimum. A first Nemo and Mercer. I think Ottawa is willing to hear you out. Yeah, cheers, yo, Holmes. We do stink. David S., what's going on? What's up, Ace? I'm so down right now. I watched the 3 Stanley Cup championship videos from 95, 2000, and 2003, and it brought back childhood memories. We will never have teams that talented again. I mean, the sad part is you're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct, but that doesn't go to say that we cannot see good teams that could be competitive, because if we're using those teams as the measuring stick, almost every team going forward in the history of the NHL technically would fall short, because we had the greatest goalie of all time in Martin Brodeur and 2 of the top 10 or 15-ish defensemen of all time in Scott Stevens and Scott Niedermayer. We had all of that simultaneously. No team is ever going to have that. That is just mind-boggling stuff when you think about it. Alan said, Ace, you hit the nail right on the head. It is inept offense that makes these goalies look like Marty. Yeah, it's definitely a big part of it. CNJ Dev says, I don't even watch the games anymore. I just check into your streams. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate you still coming out. Yeah, a lot of people are just beaten down and over this. Stick fix gluttony, one of the 7 deadly sins. I'm a glutton for pain. Call me a devil. Oh, man. Yeah, it sucks, guys. We got 3 more weeks, and then it's a long, long road to October. Doug, hit the like for Ace. Thanks. That's the only thing worth repeating every live. I appreciate you, Doug. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. I can't say for your beloved New Jersey Devils. I'm just hit it for your boy, because the Devils' performance tonight was 2 thumbs down. Yeah, you guys are so negative, though, my guy. I mean, I'm negative sometimes, but you guys, man, you guys really. Yohm says, fire everyone. It's our only hope. Stick Figs, I hate the hate towards Mercer, mainly from Frank. You look on his page, 82 games played, season in and season out. Sure, he makes his mistakes, but who doesn't on this team? Well worth $4 million per year. It's a great point, Stick Figs. When people smack talk Mercer, I'm like, listen, I understand your expectations were a little bit loftier for our young Dawson, and you had hoped he was going to be more of like a 60, 70-point guy. It didn't pan out that way, or at least not yet. That doesn't mean that he sucks and all these other things. You people are nuts. Tons of teams would kill to have Dawson Mercer. And to your point, Stick Figs, $4 million, you're getting $4 million of value from Dawson Mercer. So, like, I just don't know. I think it's just because he didn't become the guy that many people had hoped or wanted him to become. And so, as a result, they just cannot, accurately kind of assess his role or value to the team. And it's unfortunate. I've been defending Mercer forever, too, against the pitchfork crowd. Is it time to talk about food now? So this is we don't have a dog, period. Amagi, what's going on? He says, send Mercer to Greenland. Yo, home, Siegenthaler has not scored a goal in 82 games. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily kill a guy over that. I mean, that's not a great stat, but Ariel says, I'm going to be laughing at all this, or I guess all the Luke haters when he becomes a great defenseman. People forget he's only 22. Yeah, I bring it up all the time. It's pretty wild. Super young, still a baby. He's been around for a few years, but he's still a baby. So it takes time. People got to be patient. But like I've said, from the minute he signed that contract for $9 schmilly, that it put a bullseye in his back to a lot of people. You got to, look bigger picture. Amagi, Ace, a player coming back from injury is basically a trade acquisition. Get your head out of the sand, bro. The quotes are just, they're never ending. Ariel says, after every loss, people kill Luke and Timo. There's worse players on this team. It certainly seems like they're two, regularly targeted guys. And like I constantly say, just be mad at the overall team to like single out random guys. Like the team has just struggled all year long. Can't score goals. It's not just Timo. Benjamin says 1-4 in February. How about we have those 8 points back? Idiots thought there was no reason for urgency. Even a few more wins up till tonight would have made things a lot more interesting and we'd be in a lot better spot, but it's over. Too little, too late with that little push they had, and it sucks, but here we are. Jason says Kachucks are basically family with the Hughes, so that's out of the question. Ride and respect. It feels like the offseason started weeks ago for me. Haven't been attending the lives. I don't think about the team when they aren't on. Haven't been to a game since December. Canceled my season tickets. Never want to feel this again. Damn, bro, you're taking it hard. I get it, though. I get it. It's, this team is like an abusive spouse in a way. Robbie's bench toss, hoping and wishing Brady and Quinn to the Devils, Tom to Mars. I would be ecstatic with Brady or Quinn, like parade levels of happy. You're never getting both. Everyone needs to, like I said to someone on X earlier, if you're not following me on X, follow your boy on X. I'm getting a lot more involved in there. I've had some decent little exchanges with people, some terrible encounters as well, but that is to be expected when you're talking about the absolute cesspool jungle that is the Twitter. Where is this thing? I don't see it. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Bang, there it is. There it is. Follow your boy on Twitter at runninwithNJD. I'm starting to get a little more active on there. It's fun sometimes. It's painful a lot more than it's not. But follow me on the Twitter. at running with NJD. And yeah, let me find my spot here. I just want this team to be good. Not making the playoffs is a painful reality. Stickfix says, according to Zach's insider sources from Locked On, don't put too much stock into this. Keefe is a goner after the season. Fitz is a 50-50, but ownership still believe Baldy's the guy to get it done. I mean, not to discredit this guy or anybody else, but with stuff like this, like trade rumors are a different story. But stuff like this, like, unfortunately, I don't put any stock into this because I just don't know how anyone would have any genuine insight into what the ownership group is thinking. I just can't see it. I don't think this is something that's going to be like water cooler talk. Like, I have no idea how anyone would have any insight into what HBSC is thinking about this. So, unfortunately, I'm not putting too much stock into it at all. And I've said I thought, Fitz is 50-50. It's possible that the owners still are undecided and maybe talking to other people about their thoughts, because I don't even know how much they could even accurately assess the situation on their own. But, if they're serious about winning, they would make a change. Ryan says, happy I did get a Brady USA 4 Nations signed jersey. Wish we had a GM who could muster a trade for him since his wife is from NJ. Yeah. And he's tight with the Hughes, obviously. And his wife is from the wife is from New Jersey. What was the other one? Wife from New Jersey, tight with the Hughes. Oh, Fitz is his cousin, and he is in New Jersey a lot in the summer. It makes all the sense in the world. Jay Snow, Elliot Friedman reported the Nyes to New Jersey news recently. Did he? I didn't see that. He said what about it exactly? That's like a rumor out there that he thinks is going to happen. Ethan, thank you for the super. Let's go get Justin Dowling. He has 29 points in 43 games. What? Is that in the AHL, I'm assuming? Oh, man. I just want to go to playoff games again. David S. Crazy how fast time flies. Marty Brodeur's 3 sons are 30, 30, and 29. Hard to believe not one of them went pro, considering Marty was their dad. You would think it ran in the family. Hockey, I think, very different than like some other sports, basketball and football. Even though I guess you see a good amount of former players' kids become players. But especially a goaltender, like it's not easy to be just because your father or your mother, whatever it is, was a professional athlete, it doesn't mean automatically that you also can be. Now, with their genetics, obviously a lot of times this does happen, but more times than not, it does not happen. CNJ Dev says, what happens when the whole team is not playing well? The higher paid players become a target for scoring, for sure. David Chimes, 6-13-2 record against the Metro. Keefe has had problems with rivalry games his whole career, regular season and playoffs, very accountable. This is the least talked about reason we failed this season. Yeah. 6-15, 6-13-2 it's rough. Obviously, the Canes own us. Beat the Rangers both times this season. Islanders. What did we do against the Pens? I can't even remember. Michael TMO says, just got here. What a game by Allen. Yeah, we talked about Jake the Snake. Poor guy can't get goal support, but he had a stellar outing. And I said I would be in favor of, giving him a little stretch like they gave Markey. Give him like 5 or 6 starts in a row. Yo, Holmes says, Allen is saving our bacon or else his team would be a total disgrace. Yeah, they wasted, I would say, a pretty solid year of goaltending by him as a whole. David Chimes, Friedman said he's sure Devils and Leafs talked about Nemo for Nye seriously. Friedman believes Devils would have to pay more than just Nemo. Really? I don't I think Nyes would be a nice piece on this team, But is there a bigger splash available? That's what I always look at. Is there a bigger move available? CNJ Dev, look at Wayne Gretzky's family, who even played in the NHL. Well, his kids didn't. Stick Figs, I remember scrolling X in a Taco Bell parking lot and hearing Nico say this is the year they needed to up their game. One can dream. Yeah, it was. There had to be a step, minimum a step forward this year, and it was not, obviously. Another season down the tubes, and it sucks. It really sucks. Really, really sucks. Jason, no, Friedman said the Devils were in serious talks with Toronto, but the asking price is probably crazy. I mean, what do they think they're going to really get from? I would like Nyes, but who else is going to be possibly available in the summer? Yeah, serious talks and nothing ends up happening. Exactly. I said this on X yesterday, too, when someone was talking about maybe it was in response to this. I can't even remember now. It probably was. I said something along the lines of, we've been rumored to every player that has been traded over the past 3 years, and we've got none of them. I'm tired of hearing about Devils in on this guy. They talked about the time for talking is done. It is time to go out this offseason and get an impactful piece, not a budget fix, not a reach, not your analytics team found some guy in a league overseas that has some good advanced analytics that you think are going to translate into the NHL. None of that. Bona fide impact players or bust. Jay Snow says, can we bring up Dawes and see what he's got? There's no point. He's gone after this season. Next year, your tandem is Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen. Nico Dawes will not re-sign here, and so what is the point of even bringing him up? There's one in the Great White North. You gotta call his team and offer a serious package. CNJ Dev says the Sirens missed the playoffs again. They need another coach. I don't know anything about that. David Chimes, Friedman said the talks were serious enough that it could happen in the offseason. He usually doesn't say things he's unsure of, but did say it's not 100%, just a very serious discussion. It's interesting. It's interesting. Jay Snow, we came in second when we were right there. Bungie Boris, coach definitely needs to go, but they also need more depth. Izzy would slot right into that struggling third line. I don't look at the standings. Snow, Markey for 2 more years is frightening. Could be. Could be. All we got is hope, friends. All we have is hope that next year he looks much better. It's obviously the not likely scenario. But here we are. He got that 2-year extension, and he's going to be here at least for next year. Tropical Flamingo, Jason Robertson would be amazing, but he's a ton cost-wise. I also have Pavel Dorofeyev from Vegas. Guy can score. I expect Vegas to resign him, but we ain't getting him or anyone of substance because of Tom. I would have a lot of hope restored if he was ousted. David Chimes, it's typical Fitz. He'll make a low ball bid and end up sitting in the cuck chair when someone else sacks up. The Quinn fumble is just so painful. Complete pain and misery. Jason said that's another huge problem. Can Markey take you on a deep run? I don't know. We need to get to the playoffs before we even worry about that. Ryan H says, pump for my American Swagger shirt. Let's go. Oh, I just got them today, folks. They're going to go out Monday. And as a special treat for those that ordered an American Swagger t-shirt or hoodie, you will be receiving. It's a friends and family release. This is not available for sale. This is just a friends and family release. But those that ordered an American Swagger apparel piece in your shipment, you'll be receiving a complimentary pair of the Future is Bright shades. So you could also protect your retinas and have proper eye protection this summer. And for however long you have them until you lose them inevitably, like I do with all my sunglasses, you will have your very own The Future is Bright sunglasses. Protect those retinas. The Future is super bright, but you got the Future is Bright on one side, and then you got it's hard to get things in focus with this light. I can't get it. You can kind of see it. You got the little Running with the Devils on the side. So keep an eye out on your emails Mondays, folks. Monday, you will be getting an email about your shipment. And appreciate all of you. I've been asking everyone, what is depth scoring? Michael says, think Jack talk shit about Fitz to Quinn about wasn't signing him, about not trading for him. I don't know. It was a complete botched attempt to land a huge piece. Would have been so nice. David asks, crazy how different things were in 2000. Lou fired for Torque after the Devils lost 10 of 16 games. This year, the Devils lost nothing to the Isles, and Fitz does absolutely nothing. Lou is a legend. Two totally different dudes. Lou fired guys with winning records. Lou did not care. If he thought something was off, you're gone. That's it. It takes two to tango. Robbie's bench toss. The answers are in the room. It's a hard league. It takes two to tango. What is depth scoring? Leave some meat on the bone. We came in second. So bright, we got to wear the shades, Stick Figs. Got to wear the shades. Thanks to Billy G for sacking up. He actually, he's going to resign there, guys. I mean, Billy G, what a legend. What a legend. He's going to get him for at least the 3 years. Do I get a hunk of lasagna? Unfortunately, I don't have any lasagna. Jason doesn't forget about depth scoring. We don't even have regular scoring. Man, you guys are nuts. Tropical Flamingo, I keep replaying the golden goal. It's just such an awesome moment in a year of darkness with this Devils unit. What we accomplished was so special, USA. Completely agree. And I said it from a while ago. That was all I had to look forward to this season from a while back when I came to the realization and acceptance phase that the Devils were not going to make the playoffs. All I had to look forward to was Team USA hockey, and those boys delivered. Did they ever? And to have Jack score the goal, to have our guy be the guy, to win the gold for USA, I mean, wow. It was special. Unbelievable stuff. We don't have any type of scoring. Yeah, Lou fired the coach when we were in first place. Lou did not care. If he thought something was wrong, it's over. Jason, no, don't forget Swiss jackknife. Robbie's bench toss. How could I forget? Gouge my eyes out with a Swiss jackknife. Tropical Flamingo Ace, are you planning on going to any remaining Devils tilts rest of the year? Music City will be fun. Last year we had a monster game down there versus the Kitties. I'm probably going to the Nashville game. And that feels dirty for me as well, to go travel to watch this brand of hockey. But it was at least it was preliminarily planned with one of my good buddies that I don't get to see too often. To go to Nashville for a couple of days and hang out and go to the game. So, you know, it's I'm excited for Nashville barbecue. I'll tell you that. I'm excited for Nashville barbecue. TJK, best stretch. Yeah, when they have played bottom dwellers. When they face anyone above them, they get shut down. No surprise. Well, it's easier to beat bad teams than good teams, right? Stickfic says, don't forget big game hunting, no dickheads, heavier, edgier, more violent, and of course, I don't look at the standings. David S. Lou traded Sikora for Friesen back in 2003. What a season-changing move. Fitz has done absolutely nothing. Yeah, I was talking to people on Twitter about that as well, that Lou made the difficult trades, and one of the more difficult and kind of shocking ones, I think, for a lot of fans was the Randy McKay and Jason Arnott to Dallas for Jamie Langenbrunner and Joe Nieuwendyk. And I firmly believe without that trade, the Devils probably do not win the Cup in 03. Benjamin, why would Q Hughes sign to this dystopian hellscape? Minnesota, outside of Minneapolis, is a great place to live. Dude is living the dream there. Yeah, he's in a real hockey market. And they're playing well. Swiss jackknife. Ryan H., thank you for the super. Any Devils fans near Sayreville message me. I built a Devils clubhouse with the horn and lights. My wife's an Islander fan. I need to annoy her more. Oh, boy. Don't get divorced, Ryan. I heard they're expensive. Preds have a GM. We have a booze face. Benjamin, Lou brought in Langenbrunner and everyone gasped. Results equals Cup. Yeah. Without that move, I don't think they win that. They win that 03 Cup. And obviously, I can't fail to mention the other deal that was massive for that run was the Sikora for Jeff Friesen deal. That was a big time move, for that 03 team as well. Jeff Friesen was a monster in the playoffs too. Oh, man. Crazy Alex said, if we ever make it deep in the playoffs, I'll drive down. It'd be nice to do that. Starts with making the playoffs before you could go deep. David S., good point, Ace. What a ballsy move to trade the player who won you the Cup in double overtime in 2000. I wonder if there were hard feelings towards Lou and Arnott after that happened. No, it's a business. They all get it. They all get it. CNJ Dev says, I missed the A-line. I mean, I think we all do. The best line in team history. They were just filthy. What a great run they had for that brief time. The A-line will forever live on in New Jersey Devils history. What a time to be alive. I missed when we scored. I got something pretty cool cooking up, folks. I can't give any details, but hopefully I'm able to put this out there in the universe soon. But I got the special projects division. The special projects division has been in the lab cooking up. Absolutely cooking up. And the thing that this entree that's coming out, oh, baby. Might be one of my favorite things in channel history. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We are in the laboratory. Yo, Holmes, Ace, your McKay interview was great. Said Lou fleeced Dallas to take the trade without physicals because both Randy and Arnott were injured. Yeah. Randy Mack, what a legend. I love talking to him. I could talk to all these guys forever. McKay's great, though. Yeah, McKay told some great stories on there. I guess I'll drop that link. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, for the longer time fans, I just dropped it. If you haven't seen it, I just dropped the link to the Randy McKay interview that Yo Holmes is referencing. Great time talking to Randy. John Fay, the A line, the BMW line, the crash line. Am I missing anything else? ZZ Pops. ZZ Pops was a good one. The egg line. Shout out to the egg line. Hell's Angels. We had Hell's Angels as well. Those are three big omissions. Hell's Angels, the egg line, ZZ Pops. Benjamin says, I missed the crash line. That's what I miss. Crash line was sick. Robbie's bench toss. I miss when the NHL was a man's league. Sigh. It's a lot different than the good old days. Robert, the 03 Devils had the second best offense. Those were the days, Ace. They certainly were. And I think in 2000 and the 2001 season, I forget. One of those seasons, I think they were maybe the most goals for in the league. And then the other year, I think they were like second. They had a very potent offense for a couple of years there. David S. Lou actually said he broke up the A-line and wound up trading Arnott and Zakor because he said they became too much focus of the team, and he felt they couldn't play with any other players on the team. It's all about the crest on the front, folks. Rule number 1, crest on the front, not the name on the back. Backs and racks, Keefe has to stop mixing the lines. They finally have scoring chemistry, and he puts Timo with Jack again, which does not work. I think he was doing that in desperation to just try to do anything to find a goal because nothing was happening. Despite the offensive explosion over the past couple weeks, tonight they looked like it was terrible. Anyone have anything else interesting? Snow's going to flame me. This is going to be a short one. This one's going to be a short one. Sorry, Snow. Don't you have something better to do? John Fay, I missed the trap. I just miss winning. I don't care how it happens, what you got to do to make it happen. Just win. Just win. The year we played Colorado. Yeah, okay. 0-1. Yeah. Most goals scored in the league. Beast. TJK, good offense with a top lethal defense and the best goalie of all time on top of that. It's a great combination. A great combination. That 0-1 cup will haunt me forever. I was at game 6. Terrible. CNJ Dev, 3 playoff appearances since 2012. Why you got to remind me? Tropical Flamingo says Edley's and Martin's Barbecue, 2 spots that are very good for barbecue in Music City. I'm probably going to eat too much barbecue, but you got to do what you got to do when you're there. Robbie's bench toss. Time to go watch some McKay 4429601. I'm trying to find the individual behind that account. I would love to do an interview with that person. If anyone knows who that person is, if anyone knows McKay 4429601, please have him or her. I'm assuming it's a him, but have this individual contact me. David S. Ace, what was your favorite cup the Devils won? 95, 2000, or 2003? So obviously I love every single one of them. And for, I have different, different things that I feel about each team. But if I had to pick my favorite one overall would be the 03 team, just because I was the oldest for it. And my attachment was more because I went to every single playoff game. Well, number one, I got my license, I guess, the summer before that season. That 02-03 season that they won the cup was my senior year of high school, and my birthday's late. So I got my license a little bit before the hockey season. And as a result of the newfound freedom that comes with being a licensed driver in the state of New Jersey, with that freedom, one of my favorite immediate benefits, or whatever you want to call it, one of my favorite impacts on my life when I got the license was that now I don't have to ask people for rides to go to Devils games. Now I can go whenever I want, as often as I want. And I went to plenty of Devils games. Phenomenal stuff, regular season. And then I went to every single home playoff game except the first game 1 against Boston. And so I was the closest, if you will, to that team because I was there living it live, and it was unbelievable. Such a run. The tailgates were epic. Anyone who was there during that time period knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it was peak life. Peak life. Devils are beastly. Run them legs up for Ace showing up through a rough season. Appreciate you. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Jay Snow, it's depressing the season's been over. Faye said it's been over before it started. You weren't saying that during that 8-game heater. That 8-game heater was unbelievable. Feels like multiple lifetimes ago. Backs and Rack says today we honestly got goalied. I just hate that whole kind of narrative excuse. Vince X Kid, let's win one for Allen here soon. It would be nice. I want to see Allen get some starts. Let him get a little run. Let's see what he does with it. Ryan H. Wish we had a prime 2012 Clarkson. Man, Clarkie got paid well off that year. I loved Clarkie too. A mean SOB in front of the net, would get dirty goals left and right, would fight. Yeah, he had a 30-goal season. Unbelievable stuff for Clarkie. Benjamin says 3 playoff appearances in 16 years. How is that even possible? A complete run of ineptitude. Jason, no, that Flyer series when we were down 3-1 was epic. You're talking about 2000? What a great series. The Eastern Conference Finals. Stevens versus Lindros. David S. Can't believe the last cup the Devils won was 23 years ago. I was only 20. Damn, that makes me feel old. It makes all of us feel old. Benjamin says his favorite's 95. After that 94 Messier BS and becoming a real threat in the NHL, suddenly we were very serious. Yeah, they were so close to getting to the Cup Finals, and then the following season they were able to do it and win. And win. Snow, you were 13 for the 03 Cup. John Fay was an 8-game heater. When is the last time we were on a heater of any kind? Isn't that what I said? I thought I said an 8-game heater. Chase, no, I love when the weather starts to get warm and you have meaningful hockey. This organization has been a disaster. Oh, when it starts to get warm and you're gearing up for the playoffs, there's no better feeling. And then the playoffs come and you're like, this is life. Like I said, there's not many things that feel as good as drinking an ice-cold beer on Championship Plaza outside with the music blaring and everything before a Devils playoff game. One of the greatest feelings. Yeah, unforgettable. Clarkie goal on top of the net in Philly. That was sick. Robert Cerulli, I remember when Clarkson tossed Avery around during the season against the Rangers in the 2012 season. Yeah, when he was ragdolling him and Avery was just kind of flopping around. Jason, no, it sucks. I was so young. I want to see another so badly. Yes, we all do. We all do. One more before I croak. That's what I said. Tropical Flamingo, I want to see our compete level versus these next 3 teams, all clubs that are strong, either in the playoffs or pushing. If we can win these games, I think we very good for these guys just trying to build. Yeah, but we need a lot of changes in the summer. Being able to pregame without freezing your bag off. Warm weather is good weather. John Faces, keep dreaming. We'll all be in the ground before that happens with the way we are being managed. We can only hope for change, folks. We can only hope for change. David S., the good old days will live forever. So glad I was blessed to be a teenager for all those cups we won. It was a great time to be alive. Ryan H., did anyone see the Rangers fans chanting USA for Jack's goal at MSG? Respect to those that were Ranger fans that did do that. A lot of them obviously Americans, and they have great appreciation for Jack Hughes and that golden goal and for bringing the gold back to USA. What a run for Team USA. But it was crazy to see even Ranger fans cheering for Jack. Holmes says, honestly, I hope we get blown out the last few games. Everyone needs to get fired. I don't think any of these games are going to have any bearing on the future for Fitz personally. Benjamin, I was on vacation on Sanibel Island for that Flyers down 3-1. I had to drive over the causeway to watch it. The old lady was like, are you kidding me? We watched every game in some Florida dive bar. That's nice. Robert says, is Jersey going to get a PWHL team ace? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, wouldn't that be weird? Don't the Sirens play there? The New York Sirens play there? I don't know how that would work. Is that like a rumor? Ryan H., I watch every game, win or lose, diehard Devils fan. So will I. I'm going down with the ship. Going down with the ship. Robbie's bench toss, 2000 Eastern Conference Finals. Game 7 is my favorite game. Stevens trucking Lindros. Patty's 2 goals. The late winner in the 3-1 series. Comeback completed on the road in Philly. Chills. Definitely one of the best Devils games in history. For sure. And I do agree. 2003 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7. Jeff Friesen late from Grant Marshall is right there with it. But like you said, because it was a Philly, a 3-1 series deficit, Stevens knocking out Lindros, I have to agree with you for sure that one beats the Ottawa one. David S., I know it was a different era, but when you watch any of the Cup teams back in the day, the game and players are so much different than they are today. Yeah, they're grizzled men warriors. Absolute warriors. Yo, Holmes, I don't hope for losing, but the season is over and wins don't matter. Meaningless wins mean Fitz won't get fired. I don't think that's true. I really don't. It could be. I just feel like, whether they finish strong or they just bottom out even more, I don't think it's going to matter. I think their decision is likely already made. Mike Rupp is right. Anyone have anything else? Closing time. I moved some things earlier. I think it damaged my back a little bit. Anyone? Bueller? They missed the Memo meme? I don't know what that's about. Ryan H., I just don't want Fitz drafting, but the decision will probably be set. Oh, I hope not. But I'm bracing for it. I do expect it to be Fitz. And my main hope is that the impactful move happens. Because little nonsense moves aren't going to move the needle forward, move it for this team. Robert, my favorite was 0-3 against the Sens. The last 5 minutes, the Devils tried so hard to give it away with glaring turnovers. Marty saving the team. The great Martin Brodeur. What a legend. What an absolute legend. Vince, what members do you think are gone in the offseason? Oh, it's too early for that, Vince. I think that's it, folks. I got some homework to do. Always got homework. Where did let's check something out. All right, guys. That's it. Appreciate all of you. Painful night in DC. Devils fall 2-1. Jake Allen, stellar performance. Once again, not getting goal support, and the season just keeps on ticking along. Keep on ticking along. That's it. Back on, is it Tuesday? Was that what I... Yeah, wow. Back on Tuesday against Dallas. 3 days off. 3 days to be spared. Pain and misery. Back on Tuesday against Dallas, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Don't know. I might do a live or something before then, but maybe not. The energy has been zapped from me a little bit as well. Always love this team, but man, it's getting painful. I mean, it's been painful, but these last few weeks are going to be rough. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go.